I see. Okay, it is live. I'm just going to get the link and share it on our social medias for now, so no rush. They're only starting their qualifying out lap now. See, we've got Tintin Quarantino in the chat already. Welcome. A couple of other guys. I'm just busy sharing the link to the YouTube. Maybe if you guys can post it on your social medias in the meantime. Get some extra eyes watching these guys kill it around Willow Springs. So it's obviously... Yeah, we've got... RTA Donkey, Steve van Vessels, joining me in commentary tonight because all my other commentators are either racing or unavailable. So thanks to Mr. Donkey for joining us. Just let us know if you can hear him. I can hear your YouTube. Did you manage? Okay. Anyone here Donkey yet? Tintin says you can't. It's on the party settings, should be set as share all. While we're waiting, I see no, not yet. I see RTA Sir Ian has left the room again, so he seems to be having a bit of a connection issue.
Hello. And now, Stephen?
Okay, guys, just chat a bit, Donkey, and guys, let us know if you can hear him.
It should be shared now, so let me know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, Tintin says there he is. It sounds like they can hear you. Obviously, Donkey is live. There you go.
Cool.
Okay, so we're on the second flying lap of qualifying. So far we've got C8's Fluffy Buff, but back in pool 1 on pole, DKP second, DMR Damien Biss third, MJ Ninja fourth, RTA Stignator, followed by JDJ, G-Man, Ghost Killer, rounding out the top 8. Obviously, as the fuel comes down, these guys are going to hopefully go a bit quicker, so that should all shuffle around. I see on-screen Stignator and D-Man getting in each other's way and possibly holding up a few guys behind. So yeah, still having issues with connecting to the lobby. How do you see tonight going, Mr. Donkey? Are our teammates going to be strong, or who else? The DMR guys and some C8 boys?
Well, Deke is always strong. This track is a bit of an interesting track. It is definitely a handling track, but power cars generally not too bad, yeah. Overtaking is very difficult, but then again, making a mistake is quite easy. See, Fluffy's going into the pits, get fresh boots on to go for a quick lap. Same Deke is doing the same. I don't know, man. I think the four-wheel drive cars are going to struggle with the fronts here. What's your general strat here? You just did a race.
Yeah, I did a race. I'm terrible at fuel saving though, so and also I was in the front wheel drive VW, so my tyres were dead after about 5-6 laps on the soft. So we're starting with half fuel again, so I did 8 laps. I was actually one of the last guys to pit in. I got undercut by DMR John, and those extra 2 laps I stayed out. He managed to open up from being 2 seconds behind to 3 seconds ahead. So the difference with fresh rubber.
Yeah.
And then most of my pool 3 ended up doing a 2-stop. So I did 8, 10 and 9. Jean did 6, 11 and 10, I think.
I would imagine someone like Fluffy or Deaky trying perhaps a 1-stop. I don't know if that's possible on fuel.
Yeah, I thought everyone was going to do a 1-stop in my pool and I was going to come last. Because I just couldn't get more than 17. I could get 17 laps on a tank with a full tank, but that was short shifting badly, and I needed 18 or 19 laps, so I didn't even bother.
Okay, we've got Fluffy starting his lap now, so let's see what he does.
Fluffy running the Toyota, which normally you wouldn't say would be a good choice around a power track like this, but definitely with the tyre wear and fuel, the Toyota's come back into it on the second half of the race.
Yeah, and overtaking is not easy, so...
Yeah, I did a Daily C here quite a while back. Obviously, the Daily C races are, I think they're like 12 or 15 laps, half the distance we're doing tonight, with quite a bit higher tyre wear, and the front wheel drive cars, you'd get out front and then guys in the Megane and the Toyota 86 and the Alpha would catch you about halfway through the stint, and then you had to try hold on. Same thing with the second stint, fast with the front wheel drive, but after halfway through a stint the other guys destroyed you because they still had good tyres. I see we've got Ashley Ferreira aka Dean, DMR Dino in the chat, Tintin, Jean-Claude.
Fluffy just destroyed his fast lap.
He fluffed
He
it.
went wide. Yeah, he went wide. Deaky's purple lap, but he got traffic. He still managed to go purple.
There we go, yeah. 1/10 quicker than Fluffy. I saw Fluffy matched his time, but obviously...
Yeah, Deaky was 2/10 purple, but he got traffic in the last sector, so there's more in there. And Fluffy completely destroyed his lap.
Yeah, we got Wolfman Wooly rocking the Toyota, I think. It's currently sitting in 3rd place. Serious Sam in 4th. Both of those two are fuel saving and tyre saving experts, so they're going to be dangerous if they stay in that 2nd, 3rd and 4th place on the grid.
Yeah, Sam always had a strategic race, so if he starts quite high up the grid, it's going to be good chance for a podium. But I mean, this track, man, you can be the fastest guy for all the laps but one. You just need to touch the dirt in one lap and it's gone.
Definitely onto the last corner. If you go off early there, you're going to disappear into the sunset.
Fluffy's coming. Oh, no, that was not a great lap. So he's going for a quick lap now. How much time did I have? Still 10 minutes session.
10 minutes, so it's got enough to get round one more time.
Yeah.
Wolfie coming through the last corner.
Really using all of the track, which is what you want to do.
Yeah, Wolfman improves, but just not enough to get ahead of Fluffy, but SMP3 Pro does improve enough to just jump DMR Wolfman. So we've got some DMR and DMR-E guys moving up the board. I'm not sure where JDJ is. There we go, 10th place. Possibly hasn't set a great lap yet.
Yeah, 17.3 is his best lap so far. That's very unlike him.
Through Stignator sitting in 10th on a 17.1. MJ Ninja 17.1. Nitro Merlin, Damien Biss. The whole boatload of 17 ones here, I think from 12th till 6th place.
Between 6th and 7th is 1400s. Between 3rd and 4th is 700s. It's very close.
Super close. You've got one
between
person.
8th and 9th is 6,000s.
Wolfman's going to be the only person to complete another lap, and he stays fourth.
So Ian has got continuous problems. That's very unfortunate for him.
I think we need to team up and get him better internet, because I think this is the third race that he's DC'd from.
Obviously, someone has too much fuel.
I always wonder about that. I did a test myself a little while ago, and I noticed that if you do rev it, by the time the grid goes green, you're 1% less on the fuel. So,
yeah. How's it, Kaniwe? And Ruan, how's it, guys?
There we go. Off for the start. Deaky leading into turn 1. Fluffy Butt sitting second, SMP3 Pro third, Wolfman Willie fourth. I think Wolfman's strategy in that Toyota is going to be to sit on the back of SMP3 Pro and just get towed along, save fuel. We'll see how it goes, but we know that Corvette with SMP3 Pro, and it's strong. So right now he's hassling Fluffy a bit into the handling section.
Well, the race just started and there's already differences in fuel levels. It's quite crazy.
Yeah. I see that with the cars that are in the slipstream versus out of the slipstream on this first stint. I see Deaky just under a second ahead of Fluffy and into the corner of no return. Every time you go through there, you hold your breath and hope you don't end up visiting people in the farm.
Fluffy pushing it to stay in the slip.
Yeah.
So Fluffy now, that cost Fluffy the slip, so that's bad news for him. Plus he's in a Toyota now, and he's got a Corvette behind him, which is, power car. And that Corvette actually handles quite well, so it rotates quite nicely through the into the intro to a turn. So, yeah, very good handling car.
Run through the field. Sam in fifth, Nitro Merlin second further back, D-Man seventh, JDJ currently in eighth, Damien Buss ninth, MJ Ninja 10th, Stiginator 11th. Ghost Killer Pace 12th, Yasteel in 13th, also a man who's great on the fuel, and unfortunately we're missing Sir Ian, who disconnected, and then also iCarbon, who couldn't make the race tonight. So 13 people at the moment, and let's hope they will make it to the end with no disconnects. Fluffy during this lap has caught right back up to DKP, taken 6 tenths off him.
He has, but he's used quite a bit more fuel.
Yeah. I don't know, it's one of those where you gamble if you want to burn a bit to get into the rear. I think this first stint isn't as important. Obviously, the more fuel you have, the better, but starting with 50%, these guys will probably be doing 8 to 10 laps, I'm guessing, on the first stint. Maybe 11, and then the longer second stint. So
what is quite interesting is Fluffy looked like he rev it out a bit to get back onto Deaky's tail, get into the slip, and then break the slip from SMP. So now he's probably going to sit there and just save a bit to make up for what he lost.
Yeah, that generally you would know, being a Pool 1 quality driver, the right tactic. I'd probably end up burning the fuel, trying to keep up, and then do something silly like overtake and carry on burning fuel. And by the time I pitted, come out 10 seconds further back. So all the pool 3, 5, 7 guys watching learn a few lessons here, while Fluffy does exactly the opposite of what we are saying and goes through. Might benefit Deaky to try to just sit behind him and fuel save a bit. We also don't know what strategy.
Deaky has got, based on the amount of fuel they've used, Deaky probably has a lap of fuel extra in his car. So that's substantial come pit stop time.
Correct. I mean, I'm guessing these guys will be using about 5%, 5 to 6% a lap, depending on how hard they're pushing. So we'll just have to see. Fluffy still got Deaky in his slipstream. That second lap of his 15.8 was flying. 7/10 quicker than Deaky that time around.
That was faster than the qualifying lap.
Yeah, definitely.
That's running the perfect slip.
Without outslip in the VW, I managed a 16.9, which would have had me about 5th or 6th on this grid. But with it, and there goes S&P 3 Pro, not too bad. But
no, he's trying to get back on. To get back on.
But when you're that side of the tyres, you're still alright. It's only going to be a 6, 8, 10 second loss. Is he going to go pit now? No, he keeps going.
Yeah, Dean, I know you said that BMW is good on fuel, but if you rev that thing out, that thing is probably the fastest Group 4 car in the game. So it can be good on fuel, but you have to use it properly. I mean, when we did that race, team versus team race at Seaside, some of the guys that had the BMW, you were in the Viper, I was using the Jag, and the Jag is normally quite bad on fuel, and the Jag is better consumption than the BMW. But yeah, you need to, if you manage to fuel the BMW, is good job. But you can see Deaky is super short shifting, so he is saving a lot. Yeah, Carl, Fluffy is pushing, eh? Yeah, Fluffy is. These guys are running laps that would have put them like 2nd or 3rd in quali, so.
Sorry about the silence there, my headset decided to turn off. See, this definitely is going to help Deaky as well, sitting half a second back in the slipstream. He is already saving a bit more fuel, but I saw.
So D-Man and Fluffy has already gone into the red. The 4-wheel drive cars are using a bit more front tire, and Nissan seems to be trying some fuel as well.
Looking at our man, Mr. DMR Wolfman Willie, last year's GTSSA is most improved driver, up to 3rd, second time in a Pool 1 race. I think he ended up 4th or 5th last round. I think it was 5th in his first ever Pool 1 race. So GR3 and GR4, old Wilfred's killing it here. 2.5 seconds ahead of Sam at the moment in the Toyota. And he's coming around now still without just hitting the red on his fuel now. So while Fluffy pits with 5% on lap 7.
I wonder if Fluffy's not going for the 2-stopper, flat out.
Well, my 2-stopper was 8, 10 and 11, 8, 10 and 9. So Fluffy with 5% fuel left possibly could have maybe saved a little bit and got round for one more, but he's got 20 laps to do, which is going to be quite a long task.
Maybe he's going all out for the 2-stopper, eh?
Yeah. To give you an idea, on the pit stops, one stop guys, it took about 30 seconds to fuel from empty with the stop, 30 seconds. On my race I did, it took me about 43 seconds to do 2 pit stops with 10 laps and then another 6-7 laps fuel at the end. So it was about 13 seconds slower, but you had good tyres the whole time. I was running 1.5 to 2 seconds quicker than I would have with a one stopper. So it made sense.
Especially with FF car. I mean, good tyres in the FF car is a massive advantage.
Front tyres were finished. Here's Wolfie going in lap 8. So he got 1 lap longer than Fluffy. Nitro Merlin also pulling in with 3%. JDJ with 6%. Sam's and DQ have gone around again. Looks like most of the pack coming in now. Stignator staying out. He's also going for the 8 on the first flying lap.
Yeah, from the current top 3, Sam has got the worst fuel consumption. MJ Ninja's looking good. Just still, he's saving a lot, but he's also 18 seconds behind. So it's,
I'm wondering, Yas is definitely going to be doing a one-stopper, knowing him.
But if you look at Wolfman Willie, he's 3 seconds behind Just Steel and he's already done his first pit stop. You know, he's going to make that up in 3 laps.
Yeah.
And then they're on equal terms.
Yeah, but then he's got to get past and when...
yeah, but the tyre advantage you will have, and if you're saving fuel, you can't defend your position.
So
it's very difficult.
Just look at Wolfie's fuel. Yeah, so Wolfie's doing a 2-stopper.
He didn't do tyres. Wolfie didn't change tyres, he just fueled.
Yeah, he's going to do another 8, 9, 10 laps on the stint, so they shouldn't be too bad. But he's
Fluffy the tyres and fuel.
Looking at the petrol, Wolfman's definitely 2-stopping. Go DK and Sam into the pits now. So Wolfie jumped Fluffy by staying out a couple laps, and also Fluffy's got a little bit more fuel and fresh tyres. So his pit stop lap was from 16, so he did a 39, and Wolfie did a 34, so 5 seconds quicker, obviously, with not fitting tyres and maybe a little bit less fuel. Our man still now in the lead. He's going around for his 9th lap, so he's going to be spot on for a one-stopper when it looks like a lot of the rest of the pack's doing a 2.
So now a V8, 6.3 litre V8 uses the least amount of fuel.
You see it's got that Patronus livery. It's definitely a fuel-saving additive there.
Must be. Bono, when was I pit? Yeah. Okay, so this is definitely going to be a strat race. Well, look, if Deke is not pitting again and he can keep the pace consistent, he's in a very good position because he's just behind the guys. I mean, he's 5 seconds behind Wolfman, who needs to pit again and add fuel. But Deke didn't fill to the brim, so he might pit again. If half a tank gave him 9 laps, he's not going to the end. Deke is also 2-stopping.
Yeah. If he is 2-stopping though, he'll have a very short second stop.
He's going to have a lot
compared to the other 2. Or we might see him do what he did at Interlagos and hit fuel-saving mode for the last 5 laps and avoid a pit stop. So what's going to happen is you'll see still drop. He was 2 seconds in the lead. He'll be about 30 seconds behind. We can see there. So it cost him 30 seconds. He's 27 behind now. The guys in front of him, their pit stops when they come in again are going to take at least 20-23 seconds for their second stop. And we can see Wolfman's put on medium tyres for this stint. So he's good to go to the end, another 17 laps. But remember, he also wasn't leading, he was towards the back of the pack, so he's looking for another one of those races where it bumps him from midfield to top 5. With all the pit stops and staying out longer, similar to what happened in my race, we can see Deeky's been undercut by Fluffy, who was ahead of him, but Wolfman's jumped both of them, obviously by not putting fresh tyres on and slightly less fuel. Then we have Sam.
Wolfman almost going wide.
I just saw a puff
running
of dirt
2
there.
wheels on the grass. Yeah.
And we've got Deke in third, Sam fourth. So it's 2 Toyotas, 2 BMWs. Then we've got a Merc and a Corvette. JDJ all over the back, Nitro Merlin all over the back of JDJ. Damien Biss.
Nitro Merlin put on new tyres and he stopped because he and JDJ didn't. So
yeah. It's gained him some places, but now he's under pressure for the next 6 or 7 laps. You can see
the difficulty
pros.
The difficulty of the old. Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, we'll flip a coin for it. I was saying SMP3 Pros up to 8th place after his excursion earlier. So nice recovery so far from him. D-Man, who pitted on lap 6, 9th place. MJ Ninja pitted on lap 8th, 10th place. Ghost Killer lap 7. Stignator pitted on lap 8. And yeah, Steele just went farming after the downhill. It's almost like a reverse corkscrew coming to the back straight. So that's cost him another 5 or 6 seconds on that lap.
Yeah, so what I was saying, SMP and JDJ, they look like they didn't change tyres in the pit stop. And yeah, it gained you places. The difficulty just comes in sometimes with tyres that are properly worn. Is when you push a little bit too hard, you can go off track. So it just takes a bit of discipline to, hit your lines, hit your markers, and don't get flustered by the guys around you. So if you can manage that, then it's a good way to gain some positions and keep people behind you. Because they both have cars that are pretty good in a straight line, so they should be alright with that.
No, definitely. So I'm just looking, even with these tyres, Wolfman's running pretty much the same pace he was doing earlier. Obviously he's got less fuel on board, but he was in the mid-16s and he's still mid-16s with less fuel but older tyres. Sorry, that's...
What are you saying, Wolfman? He's
Fluffy.
17s.
So,
Fluffy, yeah.
Yeah, Wolfman's
Fluffy's now running
just
17s. Fluffy's running high to mid-16s. Steaky is running solid 16.6s for 2 laps in a row. He's slowly catching. The top 3 is slowly bunching up.
Correct. And what's going to happen is they're going to...
Pit at the same time.
Yeah, I think starting with Fluffy, who pitted on lap 6, he's going to have to do a lap longer on each of his stints, and Wolfie, similar DK.
Well, Wolfie's short. Yeah, Wolfie's short field, so he's got a quarter tank left. Fluffy has got about, I would say, 35%, and DK has got about 55%. So yeah, so Wolfie's going to have a longer fuel stop and put new tyres on.
Yeah, just looking
so
at
Fluffy,
on the first
Fluffy
stint.
could.
Sorry.
Yep.
First stint, DK did, what was it, 8 laps on 50%.
Yeah,
so now that they're on lap 13, he should be able to do another 9, which would put him to about lap 22 if he pushes without fuel saving. I think pitting on lap 18 or 19 would be a better idea though, and obviously just when the other guys do, but jumping them by putting in less fuel.
So the only question is Fluffy going to do tyres again?
See Fluffy getting sideways out that last corner.
Yeah, so Fluffy's probably going to run tyres again, because it will be a bit far to go to the end if he doesn't. Wolfie's going to do tyres again. So yeah,
Wolfie's going to have to do tyres, otherwise he's to end up doing the whole race on one set. And you see Fluffy looking to make a move, and Wolfie's not defending. Cleverly, you don't want to lose time there, so rather just let the guy go past, especially into the last turn. I'd be a bit careful behind because you get sucked off, as Super GT would say. Yeah, the car ahead will suck you off onto the next corner. Wolfie looking back up the outside of Fluffy Butt and Deaky closing in on both of them at the same time.
So yeah, these guys battling is not good for them because Deaky behind him has got the advantage at the moment with the fuel he's got left. Yeah, definitely. He's got more than a quarter tank, or just about a quarter tank over the guys in front. No, more than a quarter tank. So yeah, that's a couple of seconds in the pit stop.
Yeah, and Fluffy pitted on lap 6, so he's about to. This is his 9th lap on these tyres.
Well, Wolfie's done 15 laps, and he's keeping in. He's sticking it with Fluffy, so it means that he's just hanging in the slip there.
Yeah, you can see how that last section the gap opened a little bit, but staying in the slipstream, you get it all back down this little back straight.
But this final corner is gonna hurt him at left front.
Yeah, all the right-handers on this track. I think we got Kendall, come on Wolfie. I'm sure quite a few guys are shouting for our underdog.
Comes a battle for second. Deaky just stepping out of it.
And obviously you'd have been in this position quite a few times. Would you got a lot of fuel, but would you be risking an overtake here? You can see Wolfie's struggling a little bit. You're worried about Fluffy getting ahead. We see Deaky making the overtake there.
Honestly, at this point, Deaky's got a clear tyre advantage, and it's unless you are like meter for meter perfect, the guy with the better tyres is just going to easily just drive around you, especially with the tyre advantage that he has. It's not a small tyre advantage, it's a good couple of laps. So there's very little, even at this track, there's very little you can do. So getting around someone like Fluff is going to be a bit more difficult. Fluffy's car is super light now, and his tyres are about the same as Deaky's.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in this lap. His 10th lap, and then he's either going to do a 10-11 or 11-10 on these last two stints. There we go, into the pits.
Wolfie's also in.
And Deaky has almost half a tank of petrol.
Fluffy has... he's burned a lot of fuel, because Wolfie was saving fuel on that. He actually did very well on that stint.
Quite a few guys have stayed out, so Sam's now moved up to 2nd, Nitro Merlin 3rd, DMR Damien 4th, D-Man 5th, MJ Ninja 6th, and Fluffy and Wolfie are coming out inside of each other. Fluffy just manages to get ahead, and that's our 7th and 8th place now. You'll see they're now 26 seconds behind Deaky.
And they've got MJ Ninja in front of them. It's going to cost them time.
Yeah, he's running.
Oh, that was very close. They both got past him, but they probably lost at least half a second there.
I had a similar thing. I came out the pits and I had Mazda Altenza between me and the car I was chasing for the lead, and I had to follow him the whole way through the section, and it cost me about 2.5-3 seconds.
Yeah.
And the gap got to about 5 seconds, which I never really... I closed it down, but you've seen how close a battle is. To make up that extra few tenths, you push a little bit hard and make a mistake.
Yeah. So the big battle for which would come back to being 2nd, 6th and 7th on the road. So how are they?
Nitro Merlin's in the pit, so they'll be coming past him.
Damien and Sam will be in next lap.
Well, Sam definitely. Damien's still got a little bit, could possibly stretch on another, but now's the right time to come in. Even for Deaky, you had a 8-lap stint, do 10 laps and then throw 9 for the last section. There's
so
you'd only need
Fluffy and Wolfman have gained about half a second on Deaky so far in the outlap. So yeah, that's a new tyre advantage.
That's also why you don't want to stay out too long.
Yeah, correct.
He's going again for another lap. Because what he does have is he's still got a quarter tank petrol. So if
Well, he's still doing 16s, high 16s, which is not bad. Let's see what Fluffy does. Fluffy actually lost about a tenth now.
Sam coasting into the pits on 0%. The thing is, Deaky could possibly stretch it to the end, but with the fuel advantage...
No, he's got enough gap to pit. He's got enough gap to pit and come out ahead. So, yeah, I mean, Fluffy did a 16.7 and Deaky did a 16.9. So, I would have expected Fluffy to gain a bit more than that. But yeah, I agree with you. Deaky should pit now.
With my front wheel drive, my second stop cost me about 20 seconds for the top up, and I had a lot less fuel than Deaky did. So
Deaky, okay. Top up and tires, eh? Or
yeah, and tires.
I haven't done a race. Okay, I've done an 80k race, but that's about the only race I've done since the new pit times were introduced.
Yeah, fortunately this track, it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. It's not as bad as like Spa, where it took 35-40 seconds for a pit stop. Deaky going round again, so maybe he is going to try and make it to the end. He's got another 8 laps to do and only under a quarter tank.
No, your fuel won't make it.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
If he puts it onto map 6 and tries to coast in with his 26 seconds, but ideally I would have pitted 2 laps ago, the lap after the guys, because he would have seen that they had to fill their tanks from almost empty, and maybe he's just playing it safe or listening to soccer on the TV or something and forgot about it.
Probably playing FIFA on his other controller.
Yeah, well, this is his 12th lap on this stint, so he's gone 8, okay, 12, and is he going to do 7?
Let's see if he comes in now. Anyway, I'm not quite sure why MJ Ninja's car is always green. I've never seen it any other color, so...
I've never seen a green Ninja other than him, though. Maybe it's environmental Ninja. We've got Wolfie still hanging onto the back of Fluffy.
There we go, Deaky's in the pits.
He still could have done at least or I reckon another 2 laps easy on that 13%. But you could see his gap had dropped another a second there roughly. So he should come out with 3-4 seconds.
What did you want to know about the TVT stuff? You asked the question earlier in the chat, but I didn't. It went past before I could read it.
Deaky definitely overfueled there because he's got more than half a tank now, and
he's got
6-7 laps to go. Where he's got about 2 laps extra fuel, under 5 second gap.
Between second and third is a 0.2 of a gap now, so that's where the race is. Between second and third. Sam is 3 seconds behind. Nitro Merlin another 2 seconds. Stiggy is 7 seconds behind. So Stiggy is going for the 1 stop, it looks like. SMP is probably going to catch up to him. He should have a bit more pace. Ooh, he's went a bit wide there. Another 2 seconds to Damien. Another 2 seconds to DMR. Oh, this thing is spread out, eh? D-Man 10 second and a half behind TSM, so that might be a battle. MJ Ninja, yeah, so the entire field is spread out. The battle is between second and third, and they're right on each other's bumpers now.
I see you're still sitting in the 18s after he stops. So like I was saying earlier, it's a second and a half to 2 seconds a lap slower, running on the mediums and 1 stopping.
Here we go, battle for the lead. Wolfie on the outside.
For second.
For second, yeah, sorry. Pulls back in, going into turn 2. And these guys are driving the same car, so it's going to be so tight. Wolfie's got better tires, and Fluffy's got more fuel.
We know a few of them had a horrible time in the Toyota at round 2 at Sardegna C with a long straight. although there were a couple of guys that got on the podium with the Toyota. This race definitely, I think, caters to the Toyota compared to some of the others. So there's a race for each type of car this season. Some brands, I was actually thinking about it earlier. I haven't seen anyone, but don't know if anyone's actually pulled out the GR4 Supra to race here, because that wouldn't have been a bad option either.
Yeah, but you could have only got that from some special event or something. Not everyone has it.
Correct. It was a.
Okay, here we go. Battle down the main straight. Wolfman to the outside again. Fluffy defending the inside.
Doing the right thing and making him sit on the outside. Can't get past there.
Going for the cutback, but he's going to be on the outside again.
Correct. So my favourite overtaking place here is actually into this next turn.
He's hanging it around the outside.
Trying to keep it there.
He's just losing out. Okay, that's always going to be very difficult to get that done.
You let the guy defend into the right, and often they go out wide on that second part up the hill. You can just park it on the inside.
Yeah, that's if you can catch the guy and he goes wide. But if you are,
we've got Ashley saying Wolfie's trying to make him eat his tires. So, while they've got a break, still 3 seconds back to Sam.
SMP got Stiggy, and now Damien is catching up to Stiggy. These guys have had some battles in the past, so Stiggy is running 18, mid to high 18, so Damien is going to catch him in a lap or two.
Yeah, and then to get past, you'll see on Stiginator's front left's quite worn, so on these long right-handers you lose quite a bit of pace. And that's where he's going to battle to defend.
At one stopper is killing him. Dean, I don't think Deke is going to get fastest lap. Fluffy got that. He got a perfect, basically got slipped for entire lap. So he did a very good job with that. But yeah.
Damien first, running 8th. JDJ. D-Man, MJ Ninja, Ghost Killer Pace, and then still also battling to the back this week. Obviously he went off just after he pitted for his one stop, so that 10-15 seconds he lost left him with not much of a chance after the guys pitted ahead of him. We've got DK running low to mid-16s again, opening the gap up from the guys behind. They're running in the 17s, having their little battle with 3.5 laps to go.
Okay, so behind Stiggy is a bit of a Corvette train forming now. And
behind Sam, Stignator.
Stiggy,
He's getting hunted by 3 Corvettes, is it?
2 Corvettes and a Merc. Stiggy just ran wide. That's surely gonna give the position to I think Damien is gonna have enough speed around the outside. Let's see what he does.
For the left hand, first left-hander you can defend there even with worn tyres. In the cutback here, you don't want to be on the outside there with a car that's got a worn front left.
Yeah, I think Stiggy's got so much understeer right now, but he can't. He's got a shorter line, but he just doesn't have the grip. Very, very good move by Damien there. He just kept it on the outside, swooped all the way through.
Yeah, and Stignator left him just enough space. Some nice clean driving.
I actually think he outbraked himself a little bit with that worn tyre, but yeah, he left him just enough space on the outside. It looks like Fluffy is breaking the toe.
I think that's the hardest thing when you're in identical cars, even if you are 2-3 tenths faster through some parts of this track. If you're got the guy in your slipstream, he just catches you on the back straight and main straight. So you need to actually get that 0.75, 8 tenths of a second ahead. So by the time the guy gets on the straight, he can't tow back up to you.
Well, at the moment Fluffy's lapping faster than Deaky, so...
Yeah, think
think
he
DK is
wants his
just
second
messing
place.
around. Yeah, it must be those Continental tires, but they're wearing quite badly. I see he's running some Continental.
You can see Stignator running wide into the second turn now with that very worn front left. JJ passed.
And Nitro Merlin. Is he going? No, he's Stiggy just defending it.
Yeah, you're right on the left-handers. It's only on the right-hand turns that you suffer, which is 80%
look how slow he is.
Andrew's asking where's Dino. He's in the chat going by his alias Ashley. Stiggy might get a penalty there for just clipping the curb here for 1 second.
That's obviously the James Bond Aston Martin that can go off-road.
Definitely. So that's that battle over. Running through D-Man 10th, MJ Ninja in his green Nissan as usual, 11th, Ghost Killer representing for the pace crowd in 12th, and then Yastil in 13th. Diki's now on his last lap already. We've got Fluffy's opened the gap to Wolfman to just over second. You can see Wolfman's got quite a bit less fuel than Fluffy, so possibly he's had to back off slightly over the last lap. Sam must have had Sam went off or lost a couple seconds on lap 24 because he's now 7 seconds behind where he was about 3 earlier.
Yeah, but he's still safe, so.
Yeah.
Dan Man and Stiggy is the only battle on the track now. Deke is going to come past to take the victory shortly. Onto the final lap.
Yeah.
There we go.
He takes a line, fourth win of the season for race 5. I think SMP3 Pro was a winner last time out.
Fluffy battles for second. Wolfman, well done to finish the podium.
Yeah, Wolfman just keeps improving. So
Sam ran his strat, and SMP, well, he made a mistake. He could have probably been there in the top 3 battle. He was fighting with them early on in the race.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he was just ahead of Wolfman when he ran wide there. He ended up about 16 seconds behind Fluffy, so he lost quite a bit on about 10-12 seconds, and then also with traffic costing him a few more.
I see D-Man just pipped Stiggy on the final lap. That hurts, losing a position on the final lap.
Yeah, definitely. And you can look at that tyre, that looked like my front wheel drive car's tyres.
But after your quali lap.
Yeah.
Right, there we go.
We've got Papa Ken saying Wolfman driver of the day, most definitely.
You know what would be quite cool is running I shouldn't say this on stream because people might like it and it will be bad for GTSSA, but taking the standard BOP and running a custom BOP for like the top 3 guys or something like that. It could be like 1%, less, 1% more weight, 1% less power, something like that.
Yeah,
could be quite interesting.
Like our French RTA teammates do on our fun races. But basically handicapping the quicker drivers with slightly more weight or giving the slow guys slightly more power. But that's your own balance of performance. Like any GT World Championship, they add weight or take power. The World Superbike starts this weekend. They release the provisional rev limiters. So Ducati can rev 500 RPM more than a Honda, who revs 300 RPM more than a Kawasaki. Things like
Touring
that.
cars does the ballast thing. Just adds a bit of weight every race for the top 6 guys or something like that, but not like extreme ballast.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, that's all good fun, but when we've got 160 or 180 guys to go and fiddle with everyone's results, we rather just let them be like Wolfman and work their way up. Actually, I was looking at the pools, season 2, was it season 2? Season 1, race 2 this year, Wolfman was in pool 7 in the obviously that was with that our friend, the Super Formula car, which was a bit weird. But started the year in Pool 7, 4 months later, Pool 1. So it shows
No, but he did a phenomenal job tonight.
Definitely. I think.
I mean, obviously
I see
the DMR boys are.
Ashley, you need to add an E on that name there for him.
Ashley E.
No, not Ashley.
E on DMR for Wolfman.
Top DMR driver in this race.
Yeah, look, it just shows you what happens when you.
I'm laughing at Stignator's comment. Sorry.
Not killer of dreams, yeah. Yeah, Stiggy, So it shows you what happens when you've got a good team, you've got some fast drivers, everybody learning from each other, and the result is that you move up, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And the guys had 2 weeks to practice, so next week, Thursday, is the second non-manufacturers race of the season. It's a N-class race, which, is going to be interesting. Tuning allowed, so everyone's going to be moaning and asking where the race settings are. I'll try have them out tomorrow so you can all practice and fiddle with tuning over the weekend, and then what normally happens is by Wednesday afternoon everyone's copying one of 2 people's tunes for that car, so it ends up being all the same, but yeah.
Sorry boys, my ACC tunes won't help you.
There we go. I'm normally lazy. I just wait to see what the half decent car is, and then I Google a tune for it and copy it off some random guy off the internet. And normally it makes it worse, but whatever. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks our sponsors, who I didn't give too many shouts out tonight. ATM Chip Tuning, TGN Racing Simulators and Track Art. You guys appreciated it all, as always. The 23 people left watching, go like their pages if you haven't already. Show them some support. And Mr. RTA Donkey, thanks for the assist tonight.
Cool, man. It was nice watching the race, talking a bit about the race.
Now we can go bully Stiginator on our RTA chat.
Yeah, I don't know why he finished 10th. I mean, that's
like almost
horrible,
like he didn't practice.
Yeah, no, he probably just arrived and drive.
Okay, thanks everybody. Have a good weekend.
Cheers, guys. Keep well.